guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Elvis car review. Today we are not in the Mustang, we are in the E90 328 Xi. It's always a joy for me to drive this car. I really genuinely like this car, and I'm glad that I made a purchase. I'm glad that I bought this car. This is my first BMW ever. I was a little reluctant. I was a little afraid to get a BMW just because I heard so many bad things about them, and over time I got to learn something. Most of the people that talk bad about certain cars either have never owned one, and they are usually just pushing the the story or the stereotypes that they see around. So that's what I learned, and I can definitely report that my fear of this car were totally misplaced. And I've been loving this car ever since I purchased it, and the feeling hasn't changed. It's a really good car. I will explain why I think that in a moment. But again, yes, we are in the 2007, my 2007 in the Indy 328 Xi. Just left work. I'm going to buy some stuff before going home. I'm not driving the Mustang today just because it's in the shop getting some plastic surgery work done. In other terms, I'm improving the look of the Mustang, so that's why I don't have it. Now I will make another video to tell you a story behind the reason why I purchased this BMW. I will show you the original MSRP, which I can already share right now. This car in 2007 cost, the price of the car was $40,000 and 200. I mean 40 grand and 200 something. So in 2007, and this car, it's a manual transmission. It's super loaded. I've owned this car for a few months now, a little over a year, I believe. And there are some options that I didn't know the car had. For example, I didn't know that it had Bluetooth. I didn't know. I mean, I just say to myself, well, it's a 07, as long as it drives okay and the all-wheel drive works perfectly, which works amazingly, then you should be good. But I was wrong. I mean, I should have checked. This car has so many options. I will definitely show you the window sticker and go over each and every option that this car have, and you will be surprised. I mean, I was surprised when I learned about all the options. I definitely don't regret the purchase. It's a great deal. This is why I like buying used car, because I mean the person who buys the car brand new, the person who bought this car brand new, basically spent the entire, all the money speccing the car, and I'm the one who get. I'm sure they really enjoyed it, but I'm the one who is kind of enjoying it for free, because the price that I paid for the car is not even worth half the price of the option alone on this car. So hey, God bless the rich people, right? So yeah, I really like the car. I like the options. I will go over them in another video. But and also we'll be making a comparison video between my E90 and my EcoBoost. They are both this is a 6-cylinder 3.0 6-cylinder. The other one is the EcoBoost is a 2.3 4-cylinder. This make 230 horsepower. The EcoBoost, because it's turbocharged, make way more than that, 310. But this is all-wheel drive, so I will drag race both cars just to see. This car from factory 0 to 60 is supposed to be 6 seconds, but again, some people were able to get more and some people were able to get less. So all that will come in future videos. but this one I just wanted to share with you, the how I feel about the car, and it's been a great thing to own. So this is my fourth German car to own. My very first German car was, I'm laughing because it was a Volkswagen Beetle. Just because, I always wanted to own one. Back in the day when I used to see people driving up, I thought they look kind of cool, and the design was kind of revolutionary. Not really revolutionary, but it was kind of different from every other car that you saw on the road. And it used to be called the poor man's Porsche. So I always wanted to own one. So one of my very first German car was a Volkswagen Beetle, which was manual stick shift, and I think I kept the car for a little over a year, and I traded it in for a 2002 Nissan Maxima with the 3.5 V6. So I really enjoyed my time driving the Beetle. And then my second German car was a Mercedes E-Class E350 for Malik. I really liked the car. For me, I always regarded or always saw BMWs as terrible driver, people that don't use blinkers. All the stereotypes about BMWs. So I never really considered properly owning a BMW until recently, and that's why my very first BMW, I decided to get a used one. In case I didn't like it, I will not regret the purchase. So that's one of the reasons why I got the used and old, 07 BMW. So my third German car was a Mercedes, also ML350. I've always loved Mercedes. Like I say, for me, they portrayed the image of being responsible, grown up, stable, steady, comfort, and all this stuff. And I always regarded BMWs as like youth cars, stupid drivers and stuff like that. And now, after owning one, I can definitely say the stupid driver part is true, but besides that, nothing else is. The car is an amazing car, great power, decent handling, and if anything happened to you while driving it, it's usually 89% your fault. Don't blame the car, or don't be too quick to blame the car. So I can say with absolute certainty that if something happened to you while driving this car, 89% is your fault. Maybe 10% the other driver, and maybe the rest the car, but that's only if you fail to maintain it properly. And so the maintenance of the car for the past year, well, to be honest, because the car was used, as soon as I bought it, I took it to a BMW dealership, which in Buffalo we only have one, which is kind of bizarre. So when you call them, they have to you have to wait like weeks before they can see you, and their prices are not bad, not good either. So and again, they don't have competition. So I took it to a BMW dealer. Like when they look at the car, they said the car was in spectacular shape, except for one thing, which was the drive shaft that I had to change, and it ended up costing me close to $2,000 or something. I was, of course, to spend that much money to fixing the drive shaft and some little thing that went with it, and then the labor, of course, which was one of the biggest expense. After that, they told me the car was okay, but I still didn't believe it. I told them, "Are you sure? It's a used car." And the Carfax had 2 accidents. But again, when I spoke to the owner, because the car had one owner before me, and he told me that he never owned a manual car before, and this was his first manual, and he learned to drive a manual car with this. So he hit the wall 2 times. Because the price was kind of cheap, I just decided to go for it and buy it. And I was expecting the car to be bad or to have a lot of things going wrong, but never happened. Until now, the only thing that I've done to the car, I purchased some brand new Goodyear tires, which came with free alignment for 2 years, free alignment and tire rotation for 2 years. So the only thing I've been doing with the car is changing oil and rotating the tires and doing the alignment. And like I say, so far the car has been spectacular, spectacularly good. And you know, knock on dashboard that it remains the same.